Hello and welcome to Jarviskjir Mind Over Matter. I totally forgot that whatever we were talking about is, of course, in the what's it? Caption feed. We were having a discussion while we were going live, as always, because you could never be quiet while trying to go live, and I was like, you can have your last line, your last word. Hello, welcome to Mind Over Matter. This is session 7 of campaign 2. Well, it is campaign 2, more or less, chapter 2. Last week we had the successful time heist. Which isn't really a time heist. There's time involved. I mean, there's always time involved from a certain point of view. Where the party had the genius idea to bring along Zahal, the boggled time wizard, along with you. Which actually worked out pretty well.
Time wizard.
Yeah. Worked out pretty well for you guys. You did successfully complete the heist by going to the Law of Lords and rewriting the record, making it so that there was no record of Bogdan's family curse, which is excellent. It means that in the future, your claim to the throne will be more respected, more or less. With that out of the way, you can now really focus on Bogdan's journey to becoming king by earning the trust of the people and eventually defeating the current king of Abanar, Skargane Kolgard. Now, there is actually a little bit of a retcon I need to do real quick because we swooshed up the end of that heist real quickly because we were a little over time. But, Bogdan, did you want to pick up the card that you used to pacify the...
Ollie, I'm gonna level with you for a whole week now, and I even went on vacation over the weekend. I've been thinking, I'm like, is Ollie gonna fuck me because I didn't say I picked up that card?
It's because you put it
yes,
down.
I would like to pick up that
Yeah,
card.
you put it down in the statue, and you didn't mention it in the end, but also we were doing it quickly. And
yes, I would like to have picked up the card.
Cool, that's fine.
No physical evidence.
I had first of all, no physical evidence, but also it's still good. You know, it still works. So that's really good. So we can swoosh over to Bogdan's hidden family estate after the heist is successful, where you guys can plan your next moves and do anything that you need to do.
Like level up?
Oh no!
I did my own character and said I'd do Zoe's next day.
To be
I
fair,
forgot.
Ian has had 3 straight days of D&D with me.
And also, actually, no, I now remember because I tend to do it while I'm at work in quiet hours on the desk. I did mine on like Tuesday, and then I was off work because I was ill for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
So I was never back again.
Luckily,
D&D character because you were sick. You're such a slacker.
Luckily, it's not like you have to enter an entire new spell category for cleric.
Yes.
That would be a long
Thank God.
time.
I'm too dyslexic for this shit.
No, fair.
It just-
I would do it if Ian weren't so readily
Aw,
useful.
thank you, Ollie.
Thank Ian.
That's what was in my vows. Ian, you're so useful.
There are a lot worse things to call people.
It's true. There are, so while Ian's plugging away at that, is there anything you guys want to discuss post-heist? Or immediately take care of?
Did we long rest?
That's up to you. If you want to have a long rest and then kind of be like, okay, let's assess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea.
Cool.
Let everybody get the adrenaline rush calm down before we talk.
Yes, that is very sensible. So next morning, Zahal is still here. Zahal is asleep on a bench in your, opening chamber to your house. Just there, just sleeping on a bench. Other than that, things are fairly normal. When you kind of meet up in the breakfast room, which is also the dining room, only real thing of note, the baby is staring at Bogdan.
Since you mentioned it, I assume this is unusual.
The baby does stare at people, but it's like one of those things like you notice, you know? Especially because Ocean has been a little Ocean and Ashal have been a little paranoid about it recently.
Ashal being paranoid about anything is not unusual.
Be paranoid about the baby.
The baby.
Yeah, Bogdan, after all this time, still doesn't know what to make of this baby. So he just keeps giving the baby side eye while he's eating breakfast.
Yeah. It's totally fair.
I just want to put Bogdan in a crate with the baby. Just like, here are the toys.
Ashal stares at the baby while it's staring at Bogdan.
The baby turns
Oh shit!
and stares at Ashal.
Ocean's just going to sort of sip tea.
If I didn't know any better, I would believe that the child wishes to speak.
What? I can't remember what it's from, but it's like a meme or something like, please speak.
Your number of spells you can prepare is gone up by one. Yes. Or something is watching for it.
Am I able to tell if this is Lady Ivrith or not?
I suppose you could give a religion check or something, or an insight check.
Oh, perfect timing.
I have insight. Can I do insight while she does religion? Unless you want to do insight.
If you guys are okay with that, I'm okay with that.
4 insight and a +3 religion. What is better for you?
I just have a +3 insight.
Oh, okay. Then I'll do religion.
Oof. Right.
That's totally
regret
Lady
this.
Ivrith.
It must be Wednesday. All right. Here's my insight. I rolled a bit better.
Ocean, you have mentioned this before, that you know that you are worried that Lady Ivrith is watching you through your child, which is Ivrith's child, and the fact that the baby is watching the other two now is making you increasingly paranoid, to say the least. Bogdan, this does kind of seem like just an elven child just having its fascinations. You don't know how extra weird it is. You kind of not don't worry about it as much as Ocean does.
I almost wished that its fascination would be upon trains. People is good too.
Oh, I thought there was like a pun coming.
We here in Abu Nar, sometimes they take the small children to the taverns and let them enjoy the drinking songs of the people.
That seems a very dwarven act.
Ashal, please never laugh. I fear for you. Does the Heimlich.
Botov is in the room and is smoking a pipe.
Excuse me? Could you not?
He's further away. It's the other side of the room. It's fine. But he does kind of
Middle Ages, you know.
Yeah. He's doing his best Aragorn impression. And he does kind of mentions like, are you seriously scared that this baby is watching you for some supernatural means?
Yes.
There are protections against such a thing. There are shrines in the city. those who worship or fear spirits a little bit more than the wall, that can give amulets and blessings that ward away evil spirits. I imagine extraplanar sensations would be the same.
Evil spirits. Lady Everith. Yes.
Rude.
The baby does seem to kind of crinkle its face up a little. But it's hard to tell if it was from the comment or from, Ocean animatedly reacting to it.
Like digs in baby nails.
Yeah! This baby's gotta have just brutal baby nails.
Ocean's oh god.
Why'd you have to remind me?
The trauma. Ocean's going to pass the child to the first person with teeth that she can see. Bogdan, please gnaw off my child's nails.
No. He goes back to eating.
Do you see my face?
Ashal has left the room.
Ashal doesn't have teeth.
True. Ashal has left the room anyway for this conversation. Like, you look round and Ashal has just gone. So, appropriately, my subclass in Blood Mage is called Shade, and I got an ability called Silent Shadow. So yes, I have just gone.
Catch like you've like the camera pans to where Ashal is, then down, and Catch Al is like just behind where Ashal was, and does just kind of mention, "We have many teeth."
Oh yes, catch
Many
up.
teeth.
Thank you. This child has drawn blood. Please.
I doubt this was the last time.
Like, if you kind of hand the baby to Catch Al, and Catch Al like a beanbag chair just kind of slumps.
That's adorable. And like a spa, like.
Yeah, and a little rat with the little tentacle in the back of its head. Don't forget that these aren't normal rats. Will start nibbling at the baby's nails, and the baby does love it. The baby seems totally down for this.
But also, like, it might be good for the rats because it might.
Yeah, and
shorten their
rats
teeth.
love gnawing on things, and it keeps their teeth under control.
Catch
So
our best character. But anyway, yes. Chat, stop distracting me. Whereas the charm would be tempting for my privacy, it may tell more than we wish to if we were to purchase one. But also, this is my son's mother. So...
Botov just adds significantly more pipe weed to his pipe at that comment, because he doesn't understand that shit. And he's just like, nah.
Oshun's going to go massively. Window, please. Thank you.
He will trudge away.
Clicking is like a thunderclap.
Yeah!
I just gotta say, we were talking about how the intensity of the baby staring, and then as soon as Ollie had finished that, you just come up with the Sauron mug. What am I supposed to believe from that? Tell me that's not a coincidence.
It's Earl Grey.
How long do elven children take to approach a different stage?
Well, obviously it's depends, especially if one were to ascend, but it usually takes approximately insert Ollie information.
I was gonna say if you were gonna fill it in yourself, or
physical maturity is pretty similar to human, isn't it?
it's a little slower. It depends. Due to fading and dreamwalking, elves are it's very kind of personal. 100, around 70 is like, okay, they are around, is a good comparison to like, okay, they're basically an adult, you know, like a young adult. So in between that age, you could say, okay, they're aging 3 times as slow or 2 times as slow, but then there's also kind of bumps and rises, and there's also just the kind of mindfulness of elves as well. Usurper elves do age like significantly faster than other elves, though. So it's kind of a crapshoot, especially because this is a god baby. I do love the concept of it, this is more Tolkienian of like, okay, they have the body of like a 10-year-old, but they're like reading literature and stuff, which is probably going to happen soonish. So, what was the age of maturity you were looking for? Like toddler equivalent or something?
Yeah, just, you know, when they start talking and walking. You know,
yeah, that probably is within like 2-3 years. That probably is pretty comparable. They're just a little smaller.
I think I will just have to be cautious. I'm not very good at this. I'm usually so open. It's against my nature to investigate alternative means. Wink wonk. There are so many eyes. None of them do it properly.
Well, only 2 are functional, right? Or has it been healed?
She's got a couple more than 2. I think you got
Okay.
I'm looking at the art.
There are a lot of missing eyes.
As Charlotte's
I think
working on it.
4 like working. Aw, thank you. If you hadn't fucked off upstairs.
So,
Who says that Ashal went upstairs? Ashal might be just waiting in the next room, like behind a wall, just listening in.
Would you fetch some more tea, dear? Thank you.
now that the business of my past is wiped clean,
Congratulations.
thank you. I believe we should, since we are still here in the city, we should turn our attention to the Stillers and investigate that perhaps we can help them with the matter of these Varghouls. Am I remembering that correctly, Ollie, as being a thing?
The Varghouls are less in the distillery district. When you went to the distillery district, you didn't talk to anyone about what was sort of wrong. But you did encounter a foul summer smell. That was the only thing of like. So the Varghouls are also a really good thing to deal with. The Varghouls are kind of, I guess, between where you are right now in the Cathedral Ward and like the Grand Bazaar. So kind of like those in-betweeny streets is where the Varghouls have been encountered so far. But that is also a good thing to like if you are credited with dealing with that problem. That's good for just the people in general, you know.
So what do you say we deal with the Stillers or deal with the Varghouls?
The Sweeney Todd theme plays.
No place like Abunar.
Raise your knives high, sweetie.
From what I understand, the Stillers are potentially more directly relevant. Solving the problem of the Varghouls will win you favor and renown potentially throughout the city, and may also potentially lead to this bear chest person, which removes a powerful pawn on the other side. On the other hand, you directly need the support of the Stillers. So, the Varghoul problem has been present for a couple of years, is my understanding. I doubt that leaving it an extra few weeks, potentially, is going to make any difference.
Well, it has the added benefit of making the journey to the Stillers safer, but yes, I see what you mean. My wondering is, perhaps if we deal with the Varghoul threat and gain a measure of notoriety, it might be an in with distillers that we currently lack.
That is a very valid point. I think you could make arguments for either way first.
Botov, what do you think?
Bodov is like in between rooms where there's a window open so that he can smoke. I would say you mentioned before that you think the Varguls may be coming from a graveyard. If you could deal with that problem first, and maybe put a stump in the plans of this demonic summoning, then we can deal with distillers, then we can deal with the demons being slowed down.
An excellent point.
Well, that brings to you, Oshun. What do you think?
As long as I have my new armor, I'm game.
Yes, you haven't picked it
How
up
long-
yet, but it should be ready. It probably would be ready around now.
Yay.
All right, let's get your armor, and then we shall find the graveyard that the Vargwells are coming from and make a show of it.
Yay.
Okay, this is your NPC select screen. Who do you want to take with you, if anyone?
Just before we finish off, the what's his name? Zal, the time
Zal,
chrono.
yeah. He is
Zal is
still asleep in the entryway of the house.
Zal will poke Zal. Ashar will poke Zal awake.
With a tentacle. Loop, loop.
Your chronomancy. You said it would
I
take
want it.
many years to teach. Or to learn.
Yes, it's wizardry. Wizardry takes time to memorize the way to alter reality.
Are you at least willing to take on pupils?
I don't think I have room in my head for any extra eyes like your large ally there.
Are you willing to teach the arts?
Teach?
Chronomancy.
Well, I have taught it before, but I was a younger gentleman with a little bit more... well, I've forgotten the word. That's exactly my point. I don't
As
know
Logan
how-
walks past, he says, "Sanity."
I've never called myself insane. Other peoples have called me that, but they mysteriously disappeared.
So we just go back in time, find your younger self to teach.
I was more thinking, although that is a possibility, we have to find the Zal.
What if the younger Zal already taught Asharo?
We're getting into like some real timey-wimey shit.
One way or another,
One way.
I wish to learn this, and although I am currently not able to spend many years on it, I have pressing matters, I would at least wish for a way to contact you and locate you whatever time or place you are in at that time, so that I may revisit you at a future point.
Ashal,
Or maybe a
Give
past
him
point.
your number.
There is always the potentiality of meeting a version of myself or yourself at a different frame of time, which can get confusing. I can work on something like that before I leave Abunar. You have an interest in such a thing, and you are clearly already well versed in magic. I don't know if it would take to you kindly, but keep your mind open and keep your senses aware, and maybe you'll pick up more than you even realize.
So, if one were to go back in time and teach a Shal, would a Shal now know time, or would that be a Shal in another dimension who knows time?
Well, that would depend on what the Watchers of Ratterall would say. Those who watch over time and decide which fate is
We could
correct.
just ask them. Please, thank you. This time, most appreciated.
I don't think they have a PO box.
I believe that would involve a trip through the multiverse to different planes.
How hard can it be? Just anger a sphinx. I mean, that's incredibly easy to do.
Sorry, reference to what the Monday campaign for those that don't understand.
Time travel is confusing. You do not know what will be set in stone and what will be in flux. This is the reason why very few people study chronomancy, and those that do it from a wizardly nature, because we need hard rules to understand such a thing. And the effects of it can be quite discombobulating, not knowing what truly has occurred, will occur, or won't occur.
Well, I also imagine having a linear life across time can be hard to unravel.
There is
Sounds
no more
very-
linearity left, I would imagine.
Stick in the muddedness, Shal. Go with the flow.
Wait, you are calling me a stick in the mud?
Yes.
The
No!
one beholden to her god and the rules of the and expectations placed on her by motherhood, are calling me, who is willing to experiment with any type of crazy magic and such like that I come across. You are calling me a stick in the mud.
Yes, but I'm a cool mum.
Yes, Zal, I would most appreciate the opportunity to at least gain knowledge of such magics. If not, arcane magic did not, and I did not get along in the past, but who's to say that is still the case? I have
Yes.
learnt much. and-
I can already tell that you are so saturated with different kinds of natural and unnatural magic that adding another source would be akin to blowing up a festival balloon for too much air. Do you have those?
Is
Balloons?
everybody imagining the same thing? Just me?
Just get a bigger balloon.
I will work on such a thing. I trust that there will be room in this house for me to set up a little bit of a workshop. Yes.
Yes, there is a workshop that I was using just the other day.
Are we still talking about chronomancy, or are we now talking about balloons?
If you could get me a pig, pig lung, I could make you a balloon.
I thought this was a euphemism.
The two are very similar in some respects.
In our short time with Zal, I've learned that euphemisms and what he thinks, they don't always light up.
Yeah, you could show Zal to the workshop. He will knock everything off the desk and just kind of start.
Is this the
Tinkering.
safest place to do this? Nothing's going to go bang beneath my baby's crib?
Take the baby with you.
Shal?
And he'll start working on something. Who knows? And y'all can head off on your journey. So Zahal can't be your NPC to go with you right now. Do you want to take?
Thanks, Ian.
Do you want to take
Oh, yeah.
Vodov or Catch Al with you on this adventure?
Potentially in the future, you get to have the cool Chronomancer NPC without the NPC part.
Worth
So
it.
there.
All right. I think if we're dealing with some kind of supernatural force, I think Catch-All's magical expertise will be more useful than
Yeah,
Baltog's
you've
stabby,
got
shooty,
the
shooty.
straight up Mass Effect like magic power in your party going up, like thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
For sure. Yeah, Catch Al can come with you.
And normally, I always slot Zal for the funny dialogue, but
Yeah, it is a bit like that, isn't it?
A companion dialogue, yeah.
Chaos, Granddad.
Yeah, it's just like it's actual chronomancy of seeing what I'm gonna be like in 50 years. It's straight up.
That's hysterical.
Okay, so all you really have as a lead is where the Vargul's attacked you before, and your idea that there could be a graveyard nearby. So how do you want to investigate the Vargul problem? Bear in mind that actually Ashal has done a bunch of research on them. And then, like, the energies inside them and stuff like that.
sorry, I didn't catch it. Who is it? A Charl or is it a lot of research on him? Or who?
Ashal's done a
Yeah.
lot of research on the Vargul.
That's what I thought you said, but it for some reason in my brain, I'm like, did he say Catch-All or a Shawl? They both end with all.
Oh, we got
There's
a
too
lot
many
of
alls in
loopy
this
names.
campaign.
We've got Zal, we've got Azshal, and we've got Catch-All. It's all
It's like Zoe, Chloe,
yeah.
David Bowie.
And
I
Moe.
love it when David Bowie comes over for a swim.
I mean, that'd be an
That would be
instant
a
party.
good droid
Yeah,
project.
I think from Bogdan's perspective, let's get an up-to-date map of the area and look for graveyards.
Yeah. Now, how would you go about getting a map?
I have people for that. Stana, go get me on that.
Stanner is very tired from the heist.
Aw.
Stanner
Olfos gonna
is like
He's all tuckered out.
he just needs time.
Olfos, I need an up-to-date map of the slums where the Varguls are.
Yeah. That's one of those things where while you're kind of doing things, Olfast can kind of get you a map made by people. It would be like a nice, like, kind of charcoal map of like, okay, here's the areas where people sort of go
We're
through in
popping
this
out
area.
to get the armor. We might as
Yes,
well.
that can happen while
Yeah.
you're getting the armor. You Olfast
Excellent.
can
Let's go
meet
get the
you
armor.
with the map. You can go and get your armor, which is finished. At the family forge, the Sprout forge.
Ollie, someone said the closed captioning isn't working. I don't
Oh,
know if you wanna look at
it
that
just
real quick.
did a weird thing.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't even looking. It did a weird thing. I think it just sorted itself out? Question mark.
I really want
Yeah,
to look
it
at
fixed itself.
the hearing thing and just read what it says and just keep reading what it says as it gets increasingly more
think-
garbled.
Yeah.
It's like Google
Put
Translate.
it over here.
Put something into Google Translate. Translate it back.
Sorry, Ollie, I didn't mean to derail
No,
you.
no,
I
no.
know
That's
important to you.
good. Yeah. I don't know these things unless chat brings it up.
Porsche.
Porsche.
My
Your armor.
father's car was a Jaguar.
Your armor is finished. It's not just a breastplate, but it is a breastplate and a suit of affixing armor. All made out of fine cast dwarven steel. Perfectly molded to your big mama body. Well, yeah. You know, you are of a size and proportions where you aren't getting any armor like from the shop. So it's kind of up to you exactly what this looks like. I mean, the most important thing is your entire like torso is encased in steel, but it is designed to be breathable, right? It's not uncomfortable and it's not restrictive, which is very surprising because you've never really you've probably worn armor for ritualistic purposes, which is why you have training in it, right? When you were still an elf before becoming whatever you are now. But this is like one of those things you can kind of do like the twists, and you're fine, and you've got like the leather boots and like things like that. It's all a bit more protective everywhere, with the chest and probably neck completely protected. Man, my computer really wants to give me every alert while I'm streaming, huh? Very, very nice. I'm glad.
I think, honestly, it sort of brings to mind, you know, the Hunger Games armor from, like, the second or third.
I kind of know what you mean. Yeah, that's kind of what I was imagining, sort of, too.
Definitely not boob armor, but just sort of, like, the plate.
It is shaped so that it can all fit in there, yeah.
Yeah. How am I gonna get a fucking... gonna make it difficult to get a boob out? Wait,
this is not for feeding the baby. You did
it.
not tell the guy that was a requirement. See, for that you would need boob armor. Which, to be fair, is an option. But yeah. To be fair, this isn't exactly armor that you would wear all the time anyway. This is really this is Mama's battle armor. Yeah. And it has, it probably has like semi-magnetic areas for your knives as well and stuff like that. It's a real nice piece of work, despite not being magical or anything, or even mastercraft. So you are affixed in breastplate. Ian, do you want to update the armor on the character sheet for that?
I can do if Zoe minds passing me the laptop.
And with that, you would be ready to start your investigation. Allfast can meet you with this this map, kind of carved out in charcoal on some papyrus of this sort of area, the looping streets and things like this, and has noted graveyards and things. Now, when it comes to actual deep dwarven burial, not everyone is buried in a graveyard. A lot of people are entombed in tombs, but there is kind of two different sort of levels of graveyard. For some people, you know, being buried in dirt is a rejoining to the wall, right? That can be the same for tombs as well, tombs that go deep in the stone, but that is a kind of a richer. So it's kind of like, I guess, kind of like a middle class thing, where it's like, okay, you don't have a really nice tomb, but you can at least be buried in dirt in this area.
Sweet, sweet dirt.
Sweet, sweet dirt. Well, you are in a city that does worship, to some degree, elemental earth, right? So there would be a couple on here. I would say it would be an investigate. Well, unless you have any other ideas of how you want to go, take this information. I think probably an investigation check with advantage from one of you would be the most logical thing. Maybe an Arcana check with advantage from a Shal to like sense magic.
That sounds like an Ashal roll, yeah.
+7 Arcana with advantage. I'll take it. And probably fail. I'll take that.
Oh!
Some would say the opposite of what Zoe rolled.
As I say, unusually for one of my characters, Ashal has proven pretty good at what
Ashal is unusual for an Ian character. Ashal is competent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where with the map, maybe even Bogdan starts leading with the map, but it just kind of gets shuffled off to Ashal at some point, and Ashal can go, okay, based on these creatures I've investigated and how the magic manifests and things like this, you'd need, you know...
Triangulating the focus points.
Exactly. Weird occult shit is happening, you know, with Ashal's forbidden knowledge coming to an end, where you can eventually find a graveyard that is not completely full. You can kind of sense that something is happening in there. The gate to enter it is big, wrought iron, and locked with layers of chain, which is suspicious on its own, right? And the gate. Don't imagine this is a wall you can vault. This is a dwarven city. It's like capped off. So how do you want to get past the gate to get within?
Just out of curiosity, is there any specific smell in the air?
There is the smell of grave dirt, and braziers that have been burning too long and need like replacing.
So there's no obvious extraplanar smell just yet.
No. Not
necessarily.
Well, there's enough that you can tell you're kind of in the right place, but nothing like super specific.
Yeah.
There's not like that
so
smell of fire and brimstone you'd expect of a fiend or something. Yeah.
And so this is like a crypt that's all chained up?
It's the entranceway to an open air earthen graveyard. Like you can see within kind of, and you can see the dirt around. You can smell. So it would be a graveyard with dirt, and then probably a crypt behind it. So like some people are buried in front, and then there's a crypt back there.
Yeah. Can I make a history check on this locale?
Yeah.
Would I get my +1 because this is Avenir?
Sure.
Okay, so whatever I roll +1.
Fresh earth smell.
No, it's not fresh. But it is the smell of dirt being like dug up. You know what I mean? Like you can tell it's deeper dirt.
That's soil smell, yeah.
Yeah.
23.
And good tilled earth.
This grave site should not be closed. That's one thing that's obvious. You first of all, the only reason to close something like this would be via a command from one of the churches, or a very, very old place where basically there's no relatives that are still going to be visiting. So there are a couple of like tombs to specific people that you are forbidden to enter unless you have permission from the Church of Myr, which are the gravekeepers. There is no reason for this place to be locked off. This isn't even the right kind of locks they would use. This is like a store-bought regular-ass lock and regular-ass chain. This is kind of what I mentioned where it's like, okay, the crypt back there probably has mid-low tier nobles. Out in front, there are probably, people who either wanted to be buried in the dirt or couldn't afford place in the deep. It's not full. But there's still room in a place like this. It's kind of like the place that actually, like, Stanner and Ulfast would probably be buried. Like, out in front of somewhere like this, if they weren't going to be buried in, like, a family tomb. And this isn't a specific family tomb. It's kind of an assorted one that a lot of people in the area would use. So it's a mixture of warrior dwarves and crafted dwarves and things like that. It's not overly specific, which to some people mean it's got less respect, which is why there's not, like, maybe guards out here. This isn't the sort of place that would have its own warrior guards protecting it. But it's also by no means people that the city doesn't care about. Officially, the city cares about everyone. But, yeah.
Would I be able to sense how many dead are in there with, detect undead or something?
Turn on. You've got a turn.
From here, probably not. Unless you have a spell that gives you a better sense. Because turn undead doesn't sense undead, it just kind of reacts to it.
Yeah, you need to be a pally, Dan.
Paladins can have the sense undead thing. But you might have a spell attuned that could help. What were you thinking of doing from that information, Bogdan?
Oh, I was just going to inform the party what I was going to say.
Yeah.
These chains are not official chains of the Church of Myr. This was closed by the locals, and it shouldn't be. An obvious sign of corruption, perhaps.
Is this not to protect the city? If we open this thing, if we crack it open and leagues fly out like bats out of hell.
It's an open air tomb. These chains are more to keep us out than to keep anything in.
If you're sure.
If you wish,
reasonably,
I can attempt to dissolve the lock.
Oh no, I have an axe. And he just like pries the lock off.
Yeah, you can give me a... you did have a thing. The grave cleric comes around. Okay, Eyes of the Grave. Let's have a look at this. 60 feet. I will actually give you a little bit more than what you usually get, because again, this is kind of ocean supernatural power. You do not sense the presence of undead. You do sense the presence of bodies that have been disturbed and defiled. But not undead, not the dead risen. Of note, Varghouls are not undead, even though they are made of the dead. they are fiends because they're so transformed. So this is probably the right place. You get that kind of sense of defilement. But no, you're not going to get jumped by zombies in the first 60 feet of this place, at least, which isn't that far in.
Cool.
Go gadget pry bar.
Go,
Yeah, that's an athletics check to try and pry the locks and chains open with your axe.
I will relay the information while he's hacking at the chains.
It doesn't open.
Very kingly of you, most becoming.
No, he like slides the point in and tries to get leverage.
Yeah. Like you've seen that axe. That axe has a great like wedging. It basically looks like a Swiss Army knife.
And as he's going at it, he's like, my hip.
Should I try?
Everyone looks at Charles' biceps.
And Charles just walks up, puts a hand on the lock.
Oh damn, 10 damage? That's probably enough considering, it has essentially a bonus to such things. Yeah, I was gonna say this probably takes you a bit of time, but no, this is one of the things you touch the lock and it and the internal mechanisms dissolve enough that it hitches and the chains will slump enough for it to be open. While this is happening, and you're probably pushing open the gates to walk inside, Catcher Owl, who has just been happily following you behind, or maybe not happily, maybe who knows if Catcher Owl could even experience happiness. It's a bunch of rats.
Sure, they can.
Catcher Owl does
Rats
kind of
cuddle.
that's true. Does just sort of like take some of this round like stray dirt in the area and put it into a bit of a pile and pours a couple of rats into it and pats it, basically making a trap in case anyone follows you in.
Fair.
A rat trap.
I was like, is this
A rat
their
trap.
version of taking a shit? Should we be looking at this? Is this
Oh no, I'm sure by now we know they do in fact take normal rat shit, so it's probably everywhere.
You find rat droppings everywhere, yeah.
That is probably... They eat, so they got a shit.
They are, but nervous rats will just shit anywhere.
Catcher Owl isn't nervous. Catcher Owl is prepared.
True.
Therefore, shits everywhere.
Therefore shits willingly with control and rage.
Oh my god.
When we get back to the manor, we got to get a litter box for a catch-all.
Yes.
It also depends on how lazy the rats are.
These are not lazy
Mate.
rats.
I came here for a good time.
And I'm feeling shat on!
Alright, I think this is time for a little break before you go into that graveyard. So why don't we take a quick break and be back in a moment. Hello! We are back. And we are
Oshun
back.
just has a freak out about another spider kill. Fucking just makes it a smear.
If any, I'm gonna just for context, I'm gonna post
Put it
a
in
picture of
stream
how
spoilers.
Yeah, in
Um,
stream spoilers because
Trigger warning for big ass spider.
yeah, because
They have been battling a spider during this break.
for a UK spider, that's a massive spider.
That was a big ass spider. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, that's a big spider. There's no arguing that, like,
I'm
spider
actually,
big.
like, I'm surprised at my own reaction because I was the kind of kid, like, I had reptiles. I always was going to the snake pet shop and stuff to get food for them. And there were tarantulas there. And there was this gorgeous, like, rose tarantula. I've always loved big spiders. But I'm surprised about my own reaction because I literally, like, walked over, looked up.
I want to. I had a heart attack at Zoe's reaction because I came out of the frigging room, started walking towards Zoe just to talk normally, and Zoe suddenly goes, I was like, oh my god, what the hell?
I just had to curl up.
I was like,
to
oh
the
my god, has
floor.
someone just like axed through
Broke
our
into
door
the
or
room.
something?
Yeah.
Yes, it was a spider.
Wasn't it?
I don't get why I was so. It's because it's like an unpredictable spider. If
Also-
I can see.
That
how
is a spooky looking spider.
To be fair,
That's a spooky
to be
looking
fair,
spider. It's not
also
fluffy, it's not cute.
I'm gonna put another picture where it was sat. It was sat in like the dark corner of a hall, like top of the hall. It was like proper, yeah.
It was
All right.
doing that bit where it was long. You know, where it's like looking like the Spider-Man logo, where it's like legs up, legs down.
Ocean's back.
Fucking awful.
Well, when the spider worries are out of the way, you guys can roll initiative if you want.
Yeah, the whole time she's telling the story, I'm just seeing the turn order pop up.
And, I'm just getting prepared.
Sorry to not mention this earlier. My level up gave me an extra 60 foot of dark vision.
So while everyone else gets their initiative going, Ollie, these are your tiles, right?
Yes.
Can I just say they look really good under dynamic light?
They do, don't they? Like,
They really do.
I
I don't know if it's the color palette you use. It's just they look really good under the dynamic light.
I'm pretty happy with them at the moment. Yeah, I've been actually making new tiles slowly. So there's a couple of new ones here. Which may eventually get... They're probably more likely to be released on Patreon than Roll20 because I'm never going to get around to finishing them. Let me just real quick update your token globally as Shar before we start. So if I don't do it now, I'll never remember. Another 60 foot of dark vision is incredibly freaking useful for this encounter because it's a big dark chamber. Although, like I said, there is a crypt on the other side, which still has light burning, and you can see some things.
Catch It All has a token.
Catch Al has a token now. Okay.
They're like a little baby squid.
Yeah. But we all know the squid is a lie, and they're actually rats. Okay. Trash. Good initiative. And then Catch a Owl will roll on the sheet because I've got it set up. And it's one of those things, the second you walk into this place past the gates, you know, I mean, you already knew that stuff was going on, but you can even see moving in the dark something. Just out of range of, well, you know, it's one of those things where your dark vision is kind of picking it up. I mentioned this on the Monday game. They've actually, like, they're making a tweak to the system so that it does a better approximation of D&D, but I don't think it's live yet. But Bogdan and Ashal, I think, can quite clearly see this guy, right? I think that's beyond Oshun's vision. It is a...
Not beyond them.
I mean, if you can see anything, Ashal... Oh yeah, you can see shapes. Hunched, slumping, sloughing, humanoid shapes. As if a entity was molten There's no legs to really talk of. It's all just kind of
stand on.
slumped into a flowing mass of kind of looks like black tar or pitch. And kind of shifts and moves, and there is like humanoidness in there, but it's kind of shifting and moving. And far away, actually, in the light over there, you can quite clearly see a thing. A very small, red and brown skinned humanoid, large wings, large tail. It's actually wielding a wand. And it's actually going to react instantly as people enter the chamber. I messed up the map as I was leaving, but that's okay. It just has about range, because from the wand, it's going to kind of... You see like magic pouring into the wand, and then a blast of fire launching out as it fires a firebolt from the wand. That is going to hit the wall beside Bogdan.
Well, we found the problem.
By way of introduction.
Or we at least found a part of the problem.
Ocean, you actually have the fastest reaction speed of everyone. Maybe it's due to the nice new light armor.
Or the spidey senses.
Or the spidey senses. Or anything, although Ocean can't see in the dark very well nowadays. So I don't think Ocean can see anything other than the imp-like figure far on the other side in the light.
Ocean's going to ask Ashal to assist as she takes pot shots using Guiding Bolt. A little bit more to the left.
What are you targeting this guy? 'Cause
Something fired at us, so she's...
You can see the guy who fired at you very clearly.
this guy,
Oh,
because
perfect.
he's lit.
Yeah.
He is lit.
But you know what? We can say that Ashal helped with that 20.
Yeah.
That's a hit. Go ahead and roll. It will automatically roll crit damage, which will be pretty devastating, actually.
This is the big spider swing.
What level?
You click the. You decide what level before you roll. So if you didn't decide, it would have been first level.
Okay.
Because otherwise, it's like, oh, I crit, so I'm gonna roll, stuff like that. Yeah. But it's still gonna be massive damage. In fact, it's gonna be one of those things where you fire this blast of radiant divine light, and you see the imp kind of and just dissolve, just gone. The wand clatters to the ground.
Ocean's gonna high five Ashal.
Ashal will high five you, but we'll
Ashal
like
will high five
a little bit. We'll be like, well done, but I would have liked to have trapped that thing's soul.
Oh, I'll keep it in
There
mind.
will always be more fiend souls for you to trap.
True.
Would you like to move or anything before the end of your turn, or anything else, or are you quite happy where you're at?
Where are we planning on moving, friends? A little bit forwards? A lot forwards? Or are we staying where we are in the bottleneck?
There appear to be creatures stumbling around. I would suggest moving forward.
Oh, of note, of
we're
course.
on a raised catwalk, right?
This is a raised catwalk with a 10-foot drop off the side here into the dirt.
Right. I
So
can't
enough to hurt.
see them yet, but I'm fully anticipating that they will come at me through the dark. So
Yeah, you're a big presence, literally and metaphorically. Ashal, you're up next. Man, you guys rolled pretty bad.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's good. Ashal will cast Essence Trap on this one, wanting to see what, if any, soul or soul equivalent this thingy has.
Essence.
Ashal's just like, ooh, 3 souls.
Yeah, exactly.
It needs to make a charisma saving throw. Your spell save DC is 15. It rolled really high and then had a massive debuff, so it is going to fail. and it is instantly like there's almost no resistance to the essence trap spell. It's just kind of almost, but in a very fiendish way, whatever is currently physical of it becomes essence, and it just this black, but not shadow. It's
charismatic.
It's not. It's definitely not made up of umbral essence. It's just sort of different, and when it kind of fills into the soul gem you capture it, and it ends up being a kind of like black with a little bit of red.
I assume that a 50 GP gem would be enough for that one.
Easily.
Who are you gonna call? Charles.
Don't close the streams. Anything else you'd like to do?
Is there anything else I would like to do? I do not believe so. No,
Let me look at Catch Al's spell list. See if there's anything that Catch Al would do.
The bane of the dungeon master. Oh shit, this guy has spells.
The NPC with spells. Hell
It's the worst. It's the worst.
But he, like, Catch Al is mostly a non-combative spellcaster, aside from Confusion, which I still haven't added to its spell list. I'm gonna do that now, otherwise I'll never remember. Luckily, it's in the SRD, so that can just go in. There is another one. Come on, spell sheet. Come on, spell sheet. You can do it. Come on, I believe in you. There it is.
Yay!
Yeah, Catch Al will. I don't know what the range of Vicious Mockery is off the top of my head. I've never played a
I
bard.
want to say 60.
I want to say
think it's
60.
60.
It's one of the shorter ones, yeah. Yeah, 60.
60? Da-da-da-da-da-da. So, Catch Owl will cast it at one of the other imps it sees.
Oh, there's another imp. Drat, I could have soul trapped that.
Go ahead.
And took you
Bye.
instead you took the mook. But the imp is unaffected. Next is Bogdan.
Alrighty. I'm gonna go.
Say all righty.
I'm just southern, man. 5, 10, 15. It looks like this chump is the closest to us.
Yeah, I would say that is closest.
So he's gonna draw a sigil there and say Kandalabi and cast Frostbite, I think. Yeah, 60 feet. I'm within 60,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, if you can count that it's 10
Yeah,
feet
yeah.
down as well, it's close, but it's still a hit.
Okay,
You're still within
cool.
range.
So casting Frostbite. For terrible damage.
And it is actually going to save as well. So nothing really
Alright.
occurs. The spray fizzles out as it gets close of cold. And it will slowly approach. So it seems that these creatures are incredibly slow anyway.
Yeah.
Slowly schloffing closer. And then it's imp time.
Imp time.
Imp!
Call us 5 gang. Imp time.
You're right, but I'm not happy about it, okay? It's gonna fly around this way. And actually, it's gonna kind of... No, it's gonna stay close to Catch Owl. It's gonna stay close to Catch Owl. Oh, shun.
Well, Ashal said you wanted that soul, so I think. Let me see. What is my ability where?
Oh, you can non-lethally kill something with a spell.
Any spell you cast does non-lethal damage. When an entity dies near you, you can make it be non-lethal damage. Bear in mind, these are fiends. So that may not work.
In that case, I will.
And that's automatic. Your spells doing non-lethal damage is automatic. In situations where it makes sense. You have to declare if you want someone else's to basically save someone. Or try.
Sure. Whoa. Now that this thing is in my vision, I'm going to guiding bolt that too.
Mm-hmm.
Whee! I love the one. Oh
Well, that balanced as all things should be.
no.
5 gang.
No.
You try to summon the divine light from within you, and it explodes uncontrollably in your hand, temporarily blinding you.
If I had eyebrows, they would also be gone.
You got little face fuzz on your mandibles.
Get a natural 1 on a guiding bolt, lose another eye.
I've still got 3. Ashal.
Slight technical question, Ollie.
Yes.
I had completely forgot about this ability until now. Blood draw, when a creature within 5 feet of you takes any form of damage, are we using 5 foot as in a spell here?
It is
so I can
5
do
foot
diagonal?
spell. Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
within 5
Cool.
foot in general. Yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to check
Mhm.
that. So as
Good.
shall
Well
move
asking.
down here. We'll
So-
move down here, and then is going to attempt to essence trap this here impy.
This here impy. Unlike the first creature you captured, this thing has will, and will even kind of like curse at you in fiendish when you attempt. And
Yeah, speak that.
exactly, you know it's cursing at you.
Yes, I do.
It completely resists the effect, almost knowing this kind of magic. It's almost like a counterspell, but not really. Yeah, kinda.
I shall just glares. at
Pitch
it.
perfect infernal, Zoe. Pitch perfect.
Catcher Owl! I'm Catcher Owl! Catcher Owl will... Realistically, Catcher Owl should have a melee attack, right? They're a swarm of rats. And the illusion is gone by now. Now, what is Catcher Owl's default melee attack? Well, I can look it up. Because I don't do things quick and easy here. And then I can put it on the sheet, and it'll always be there forever. It is actually quite a lot because Catcher Owl is a swarm.
It's a swarm, yeah.
What
Is Rat Swarm in the compendium?
yes, but Catcher Owl is not a rat swarm.
Cranium rat.
So
Cranium rats.
Yeah, he's a Rat Swarm with 2 T's.
Rat. Ooh.
Bites.
Get him, Catch
I don't know
Owl,
why
get
Catcher
him!
Owl rolled with advantage. This is illegal.
Damn it!
This is
I think that's
illegal.
actually disadvantage. but-
You know what, Ollie? I'll allow it.
Thank you. But I must beholden my honor and re-roll. Yeah, Catcher Owl starts off as, looking like a little Evamari, and then, of course, the illusion drops, and the cloak drops to the floor, and a swarm of rats jumps at the imp. Starts just swirling around it, and the imp is like, the imp didn't see that coming, for sure.
Further question further question about blood draw. It's at specific levels it gets bigger range. Is
You
that
are not
specifically blood
within
range?
5 feet, and it would be blood range levels. So right now you're 10 feet
Yes,
away from
I
it.
was
so-
I was wondering whether that was specifically blood mage levels or like cantrip progression levels.
It makes sense to be blood mage.
I thought so, but
Now, the Catch Owl's bite attack does not count as a silvered weapon, so that is only going to do half damage, but that's still 7 damage to the imp.
All right, next project we get
Catch
silver
Owl's
grills for all of Catch Owl.
Yes. That's what I was thinking. Very fashionable.
logged in.
Okay. Can I move through Ashal's space?
If Ashal is willing.
no, yes.
All right, oopty, inch loopty. All right, and I'm gonna with my reach weapon attack the imp.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him the razzle, and if he accepts, then I shall follow up with the dazzle.
Yeah.
Is that just flashing someone?
That's more of a bard move than. That is a hit. It's pretty good damage, but it is halved for being mundane.
Oof.
And that second strike is a miss. You can clock it with the first hit. Of course, it doesn't cut. It just kind of knocks the imp out of the air for a moment. And then it kind of
Alright, well, that's me.
duck and dodge with the next one. The imp is going to actually swoosh around like this and attempt to sting Ashal with its tail. Ashal, what's your AC?
10.
I don't even need to add its modifier for this one. Please make me a Constitution saving throw, my friend.
I do have a question though.
wow.
This is the imp's turn. Carry on. I'm done.
Pog. Constitution saving throw, Ashal.
Oh dear.
You're going to take 5 piercing damage and then take an infernal poison. Which will be 8 poison damage.
8 poison damage. Can I blood draw myself?
I mean, I believe there is a mechanic to that.
I don't think it actually specifies.
No, it's not blood
Yeah, I
draw.
think-
You have another one in Blood Sorcerer where when you take
I
damage,
have
you should.
I have bloodletting, but it costs an action. I'm trying to get my blood points back before my turn, so I can essence trap it again.
Ian, have you tried cheating?
Actually, before Ocean, I'll have a little.
Oh.
And now it's your turn.
I want to shoot this one.
I thought you would say, I want to shit.
We're over that. We're over that.
I know, but it's what I expect nowadays.
Bear in mind, if you're using a ranged spell, you're at disadvantage.
You would be at disadvantage if you use a range
In
attack
that
here,
case,
yes.
I'm going to.
Also, you're blind.
Also, you're blinded. So you have a
Oh,
disadvantage
fuck.
on anything anyway.
Fine. No dagger. Instead, Toll the Dead.
Yep. You can't see anyone because you're blinded, so Toll the Dead does not work.
I'm going to blindly stab out with a large dagger.
At disadvantage.
At disadvantage, so re-roll that.
Reroll at disadvantage.
All you gotta do is say what you do a second before you press it, and we'll be Gucci.
She's trying to save everyone time. You know, I respect
In
it.
this case,
Fuck time! That's why Stall exists.
Somewhere Zal's ears are burning.
Can you re-roll that? Have you re-rolled that with disadvantage, or has it not gone through yet?
did I see this thing in front of me before I was blinded?
No, but you are aware of its presence.
I'm going to reach out and try and inflict wounds.
Yeah,
Just-
it's disadvantage.
Grab it. Just try and feel for
Yeah.
that gross feel. The gross feel that's different to the Ashal gross feel. That was on digits. Okay.
That is going to be a miss. And your blindness recovers.
Yay!
Just in time to see you miss the thing. And see this thing up close You can kind of see the skull inside it as the kind of pitch bubbles and oozes and coats it again.
Ocean's a grave cleric. That shit ain't natural.
Oh, hell no. A Charles.
I suppose there'll always be another imp. Reaches out.
There are many fish in the sea. If you kill it, I can prevent that from happening.
Constitution save. It's gonna fail.
Good.
It does not die.
Good. I am now going to try and steal a blood point from it.
A fresh soul.
No, I'm not going to steal a blood point.
That is not a successful blood draw. Anything else? You good?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Catcher Owl. The swarm of Catcher Owl is going to attack the goo man beside it.
I didn't know we were fighting the Goo Man group.
Get out.
Please stay. You'll
Get
fuck up my
out.
camera if you move. Successful bites. Ow, 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 ow. Is that a kill? Yeah.
Kill
Yeah. The swarm will just kind of surround this creature until it just kind of bursts and just becomes a pile in the ground.
That was one of the really cool things about Plague Tale, wasn't it?
Yes.
Sea of Rats. Very cool.
After Catcher Out is Bogdan.
Alright, this imp needs to go. Not with rolls like that, though.
Nope, that is a miss.
Nope.
That is a hit.
Oh. Thank the Matrix.
With that, the imp is going to go down. Because it is an imp, I will require you to make a religion check to try and save it. Ocean?
Yep. Boing.
Yeah, that's more than enough. Usually it's kind of a... Like, it's becoming effortless to save creatures. But this is not mortal. To try it, you have to basically muster up a prayer out of nothing to tether it to this plane real quick, which you do. And instead of burning away, the imp kind of hits the ground and just the body remains there. Just barely alive.
At least I'm burning the bad rolls on random constitution checks.
Is there anything else
statistics works?
Yeah.
you'd like to do, Bogdan?
That was my second attack, so I'm done.
The pitch man will attack at Bogdan. What's your AC?
17.
It actually hits a 17.
Rude. I'm not gonna use shield, so hit me.
It's gonna do 4 bludgeoning damage. It just kind of slams into you.
Damn it.
Yeah, my constitution's kind of high.
Yeah, it's definitely higher than 12. Just casually trying to steal my companion's blood.
Rude.
You know, they'd understand.
Bogdan's a bro. If you need blood, bro.
Ask. Blood stealing consent.
Oshun!
Let's practice it.
Oshun was trying to steal Bogdan's blood 2 weeks ago. So...
Everybody after that blood, man. That royal blood.
It's gotta be more magical.
Oh, the dead.
Did that one not move?
It moved on its turn. Oh, no, it actually didn't. Sure, that one's, taking its time. Let's say it took the dodge action.
Fair enough.
Wisdom saving throw. It's going to pass. It doesn't seem affected by the spell.
Back. Just go with your instinct, Oshun. Stab it with a big knife.
Anything else?
No. Wait, can I
Ashal.
flank it?
You can move, to here and give flanking to Bogdan.
Ashal will follow up the sonorous bell that is the Toll of the Dead by Ocean with like the horrific noises of the umbral plane and the scent of antiseptic with their own Toll of the Dead on this thing.
Oh, rude!
It's a combo attack. This time it fails.
Combo.
But it had
So
not yet
that's-
taken damage, so it only takes 4.
Give me your blood, creature.
Are you sure you? Oh!
I helped us dodge the nat
You
one.
do manage to absorb something. You kind of are trying to, because you're not actually, as a shade, you're less trying to get the blood as the life essence, right?
I was gonna say.
And now Ashal's pregnant.
I was gonna say it's like I've been saying blood, but because Ashal's blood mage is like sort of
shade.
drawing on shadows
Yeah.
and umbral plane more, it's more like where the blood sort and essence sort of comes out and turns dark. It's sort of drawn into the shadows
Yeah.
around Ashal.
Ashal's like see, come towards him like, ah!
This pitchman has more resistance, and you absorb something and immediately feel your left arm start to burn, and you can kind of even pull the cloak back and see under your translucent Ebamari skin hellfire.
Nice. Ashal is definitely you know full well. Ashal's reaction to that is like curiosity.
Ooh. Ashal? Ashal, no.
Catch-Al is gonna get its swarm out of danger. It doesn't want to be. You know what? It's actually gonna kind of go around this way. Bogdan.
Okay, I'm gonna beat the crap out of this thing.
You have advantage.
Haha, yeah, jazz.
That's a hit.
Right.
It's
Give
big
me
damage, but it doesn't
more.
kill the thing.
Don't worry, he's got another attack.
I got
that's
a good point. I
Yay!
Da, 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 da.
You got blood.
do.
With the
You've got
second
blood.
strike, you can cleave through the thing, and it just kind of splits in two, and as it hits the ground, it kind of burns away into very little. Anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And I'm done.
Oh, this pitchman comes up to meet you. And it swings and it gets a whopping 7. So it's just kind of like the hand just splashes against your armor. And that's the last one, but there is another imp who has picked up the wand that the first one left.
Oh, shit.
You guys should have looked north! And is gonna shoot at Ocean. Ocean, what is your new armor class?
16.
It's 16.
Oh, you bitch.
Yeah.
You bitch.
That is going to be 7 fire damage.
Oh no.
And next is actually your turn.
Guiding bolt.
At the imp.
Yay.
That's a hit.
Ocean's just like, fucker.
Yeah. Yeah. The violence increases as damage has been dealt.
Roll damage.
Ooh.
You've used 3 first level spells again.
Ah, thank you.
It's gonna hit, it doesn't kill the imp. Would you like to move or anything?
Nah, I'm good.
Charles.
As Charles will move forward, and rather than directly attacking, we'll just draw upon the shadows and the remaining life force around. Use bloodletting.
I will say that bloodletting, in fact, deals double due to the infernal burning within your arm right now. Like you do it, and you're not used to this magic yet otherwise, but there's just like this burning from your arm.
Oh, that should actually be 3 anyway, so that would be double to 6. I forgot to update that.
Big damage.
Next level is a Charles gonna take Warlock and Fiend Patron.
Just one of each.
Yeah.
Then a level of Chronomancer.
Level Wizard,
yeah.
Chronomancer, yeah.
We're all very proud.
We'll work out a more elegant solution, I'm sure.
Ian wants to do this so bad.
It is hilarious.
Soul.
No, I was talking about the Chronomancer.
Oh, the Chronomancer, yes. Well, I also want to do the Chronomancy, but I also want this damn imp soul! Get me souls! Get me imp souls!
Give me your damn soul!
This is the beginning of a dark path for Ashal.
Implying that Ashal hasn't been on a dark path for a long time.
Implying? Bogdan.
I can't wait for this campaign to end and Ollie having to add a Charles as a Warlock patron.
That would be pretty rad.
I mean, I do have a character who could potentially, who when I eventually get to play them, could potentially have their mother as a warlock.
Oh, I rolled that with advantage. Sorry, I didn't toggle it off. Let me try that again.
Illegal.
So instead, it's garbage.
Oh, but it is a hit because this is a goo man who is not really trying to defend itself. It's all focused on attack. That is not a kill, but it is big damage.
Big damage.
And that is a hit. And it does burst.
Are we
and fall
not
to the
8
ground.
gang now?
No, 5 gang forever.
You can't be in 2 gangs, Zoe.
Yeah, all
That
other
would be
gangs
ridiculous.
are heresy. Okay, and then I'm gonna 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and I'm done.
Alright. The imp is going to shoot a Bogdan.
Rude.
It's going to... What be one of those ones where it just is absorbed by the armor. Oh, shouldn't.
This one.
What? What are we doing?
Pop, pop.
Aha! That's gonna be a miss.
Oshun shakes her fist at the imp.
Anshal.
It occurs to me that Essence Trap only has a range of 30 feet anyway,
I can throw
so
you.
I should have moved up further last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go on, dash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think I'm gonna fly up to you.
It's got a firebolt stick.
Yeah, it has no interest in getting close.
Yeah,
Fair.
it's an imp. Oh,
God, fat!
Catch-all is a quick little boy, ain't he?
dimension door.
Oh,
It's got to be dimension door.
No, Catch-Owl's just been walking around the edge of the battlefield this whole
I didn't
time.
notice. I must admit, I didn't notice.
Yeah,
They are very sneaky.
Catch-Owl is very inconspicuous.
We've once again all just been messing around, catch a owl, getting shit done.
Always rolling double 7s on this attack for some reason.
This is what happens when you don't feed him.
Catch a owl in 7 gang.
Would you like to do anything, Bogdan, or do you think the rest of the party has that handled?
Oh, just for fun, I'll move up.
Yeah. just
1,
to
2,
join.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Done.
Now you can kind of tell from looking at it that it looks like they haven't actually penetrated the crypt, which would be like back here. There'd be like a door. That looks
Interesting.
fine. It's just a kind of graveyard around. The imp is going to disengage and fly away. Ocean.
Yes. Sorry. Just badly remembering Palpatine quotes for slashes. All I can remember is, do it.
That is an easy one because it is 2 words.
We're just gonna do another guiding bolt.
That'd be a.
Yeah, have you got any more spell slots left, or are you now upcasting?
It's gonna have to be 2 then.
No, I think this would be your last first level spell slot.
Okay.
You should be keeping track on your sheet.
Ocean's like, spell slots go brrr.
Yeah, well, these are fiends. Ocean's a cleric. Yeah, the fiend is running away from Catcher Owl, and just a beam of light, and it just gets dissolved like Pikachu in the Smash Bros.
Catcher
Ultimate
Owl looks back
intro.
at Ocean. Ocean just goes.
And with that, the fiendish presence in the graveyard is defeated. There is a peace in the darkness for a few moments.
Did we want to try and interrogate that other one, or should I just take its soul now?
You can interrogate it safely within a soul gem.
This is true. This is true. Ashal will just walk back up to it.
Cast
and-
Essence Trap, and it immediately just.
Hang
Now,
on.
unlike the pitchman, when you actually cast it, this one kind of defrags into fiendish flaming essence and then into the gem.
Ashal, are we going to have a talk about proper burial etiquette for all living creatures?
I mean, you wouldn't have buried this one anyway. It would have returned to its plane.
And I suppose that is the natural order for fiends.
If anything, what you did was unnatural.
Sending it back.
No, keeping it in this plane after it had fallen. Not that I am not ungrateful. I am.
Now.
It's only my place to make sure that death is respected.
Can you truly say that a fiend lives or dies? Are they not
I do
automata
not-
created by the hells?
I have no idea. So, what have we learned?
Well,
Ashal has a collection.
not much that we did or not already know, but
Well, these are not Vargul.
no, but they are of the same base nature.
Imps and the Goo Man group.
Fiends.
That's going to be a
So
Jarviskjir
she-
card game card now. I don't make the rules. It's now a thing. Goo-man group. Fiend type.
basically. If I attempt to reach out telepathy to the imp soul gem, does it?
This is an interesting hypothesis. There is a degree of mental energy in there. This would take practice to communicate with an entity within a soul gem. You do already have an entity within a soul gem that is likely more talkative than the imp. Although the imp might be a safer thing to experiment on first. Don't mind me, my
thing is
lights
that-
rave. It's just drama.
Yes, it's an excellent point. The rest of the party doesn't know about the other entity in a soul
I
gem,
just reminding
so-
you, but yes, the
Yes.
imp might be good practice. This would be something I think you'd have to work on talking to a
Yes.
soul gem, but is definitely within your purview of something Ashal could learn.
Okay, yeah.
Which is funny because I also have a demonologist class that works quite similar, so we're just going to give Ashal first level bonuses from so many things.
Yeah. After a moment's concentration, Ashal will. I am unpracticed in communing with a soul. I would be able to do it, but you would have to give me time and.
It's very drunk.
Is it going to suffer at all if you mess around with its soul?
Ocean, it's a fiend.
It It's very difficult to quantify such things. It is not a being that has senses anymore in any
Oh.
it does not have a physical form.
Oh lord, that's horrifying. Could you imagine not having any senses yet not being able to see or touch or hear, yet you exist?
Is that not the final aim of meditative practices?
I believe that there is no final aim for meditation. It's simply to allow oneself to process one's own thoughts.
I suppose it also...
I do it every night.
I suppose it also depends on where you believe the creature is. If it is within the soul, within the mind, or within the body.
Well, mind or soul or body, it's in your jar. I believe this is new territory for all of us, so I'm willing to learn and grow. However, I think you can appreciate where I'm coming from as a grave cleric of Lady Ifrith.
If it is any consolation, I can release these once I am done.
I think that would be a consolation, actually.
Catcher Owl will
About this.
move up as a swarm and then back into Catcher Owl's like little illusionary form, and will say, perhaps in a way, what Ocean is saying is that you may get more intelligence from this fiend with a carrot than with a stick.
Yes, that is what I was saying.
I don't think demons eat carrots.
Shut up, Bogdan.
Fuck off, Bogdan!
Perhaps I do not yet know how this being feels about being within a soul gem. Perhaps it is preferable to other forms of existence for it. Something to ask.
I realize that in life and death, that's your thing, but it's a fiend. Why do we care? Get the information we need out of it, and whatever.
Well, it is not our place fundamentally to pass judgment on the existence of others. I mean, you wouldn't pass judgment upon the existence of an insect upon which all life is sustained.
But if an insect bit me, I would swat it.
Speaking of, you hear the sound of a magical explosion by the entryway of the chamber, and Catcher Owl noticeably, like, is alerted, yeah, and, you can hear a sound of a scuffle off at the entranceway to the graveyard.
Your lord.
I think perhaps we should shelve this discussion for another time.
Pause, indeed. For over tea, darling. Anyway.
We are moving towards the sound
When
of the
you
explosion.
go to the entrance to the graveyard, you see Harrenhal fighting off a couple of rats, and actually, trying to sort of swing at them with the hammer, and then kind of closes their fist and kind of just lets out a word in Celestial, and her skin goes from kind of this tan tone to a bright white.
Harrenhal!
And the rats go.
Oh.
But they do get back up.
Harrenhal, no! Those are our rats!
No!
Well, that explains some things. And she puts the hammer down, punctuatingly with a clonk.
Got some splaining to do.
And just, she do cross her arms and then look at you.
What are you doing here?
I noticed that you two have always been quite suspicious on your intents and activities within the city. I had an eye kept on you when you left, when you passed through the cathedral ward this morning, and I wanted to see where you were going. Now, why are you in this grave? And she looks at the upturned graves. There are some of the graves over here have been dug up.
Are the Goo-Man group still gooey?
Stop that.
There's very little evidence of any of the fiends being here. There's none, because the physical body you had went into a soul gem. Other than the wand.
Charles, show her the gem.
That's what I was going to say
I am
hypocritically.
not sure if this will serve as proof. This is the essence of a fiendish entity. This is the essence of an imp. Holding up the 2 gems.
Inside the gem, it's like...
We arrived
It
here
is
investigating the Vargul that have been plaguing this city for years, and found a lock on this graveyard that Bogdan assured us was not one that would have been placed by the church. It was one that could have been purchased at any store. I believe you can see the chains around the gate. We took it upon ourselves to investigate and were set upon by fiendish creatures led by imps. You are now seeing the aftermath. Unfortunately, fiendish creatures, as with any other extraplanar entities, return to their own planes when killed. I was able to retrieve these with my magic.
Oh, Harrenhal. Fancy seeing you here.
Now,
Are you
shoot.
joining us?
And as Shal would also like put the gems away and then pull up the robe with the like burning hellfire arm and will say, "This
She takes like a
was
step
also
back.
This was
Check
also
it."
inflicted on me by one of the beings here.
Oh, darling, we really should get that looked at.
It's quite fascinating, really. I need some time to investigate it.
Grade your
No.
scale on 1 to 10, your pain.
That's about a 6.
I believed you before the burns. The burns are more damning evidence.
Very funny, Harrenhal.
Oh, but my jokes.
Well, I'm trying to sleep with her.
That has to be.
No, that was in character for me.
Yeah,
I don't know about you.
She picks up her warhammer and will traipse down into the graveyard to look at the graves.
They were all already upturned, unfortunately. It would not be unremiss to assume that something has been using this graveyard to create the Vargul.
Yeah, she is going to reach down into the one of the dug up graves, and there is a dwarf body with no head. She's just gonna pull it up by like the tunic, and then just kind of slightly disrespectfully, in fact, just kind of like drop it again, and then.
She's gonna go.
And I think you are correct. The Varguls were definitely coming from this place. I will contact the Church of Myr to have this place put upon sanctioned protections to sanctify this ground.
She's gonna just tuck the bones back in.
While we are here, do you think it wise to investigate the mausoleum proper in case there is more?
I think we'll have the gravekeepers watch such a thing.
Oshun did think that Harrenhal was going to like be cool about the grave things being like a priestess, and then she just like drops the body, and Oshun was like,
You forgot, she's also a cop.
Suddenly less attractive.
Man, I completely forgot what I was going to say, but I'm
Yeah, I
definitely
knew
gonna
you
say
had
something.
something readied up, but that'll happen. It'll come back, I'm sure.
Don't you think that in your diligence to the church, simply proposing a problem is inadequate? You should perhaps pursue a solution, suggest, and a solution may be within the mausoleum, as my companion suggested.
You can give me a persuasion check.
I will.
Yeah?
That was great.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh! It's one of those things where you look at her and straight up, you would know. This is essentially a, what was the word? Going out of protocol. It would be protocol to let the gravekeepers sort this out. But she does do that kind of like, Very well, we shall look within the crypts.
Splendid.
And she will.
Shall we press on? Go team?
She will kind of,
Yeah.
as she's getting ready to open the entranceway to the crypt, like she's starting to push the stone open. She will look to Ashal, where she can see some of the kind of like hellfire under their arms. Like, does that not need seeing to now?
No, if anything, I am interested in investigating it in my own time.
She
It will not
makes,
hinder me, do not worry.
she makes what
Can
can
I-
only
I
be
have-
described as a stank face at that comment. And
I have suffered worse.
May I try and heal you? Please? Okay. I will give you mommy kisses. Oh god, I just remembered.
you just remembered your face.
My-
For some reason, the mommy kisses are really itchy.
And she turns around and kicks hairs.
Harrenhell will push open the entryway to the crypt and will, actually, she doesn't have to cast, her pauldrons cast a light, so she is the torch. And will,
Fucking tier 4 paladins.
yeah, straight up, like, she's got her heroic armor from the dungeon, you know, she's gone through Naxxramas, kind of thing. She will push forward and start leading you into the dwarven crypt where some of the other dwarves here are buried. And I think we can take a little extra break real quick and get some drinks and things, because I definitely need a nice, cool, refreshing beverage after a
need
battle like
water.
that. Yeah, so we'll have a quick break for refilling drinks and things. Back in a sec.
Refrelling.
Hello. We are back. You guys start traipsing into the dwarven crypt. While it is not the highest tier of crypt, it's still a place with a lot of respect put into the stonework and things like that. Slowly digging its way into the very wall itself, the stone that goes deep under Jarviskjir. After a little bit of walking, there's a sort of entry chamber where there are some things that that crypt workers would use, or very carefully put away in things, embalming tools and stuff like that. And then you have the crypt itself, which would kind of fork in 3 different directions and have essentially cubbies in the walls for people to be entombed. How abouts do you guys want to explore?
You got a magical blacklight? I think I think for Bogdan's part, he'll just do a visual inspection.
Check if anything's weird, like an investigation check.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Puts on sunglasses.
Shall I roll?
Yeah.
I did pretty good.
Something that you can immediately notice is that based on how long it looks like this place has been locked up and stuff like that, and how out of the way it is, the first couple of because you wouldn't wander too far in, you'd kind of do a check of the places nearby. These bodies are much more recent than they should be, and aren't buried in the proper order, right? You usually bury people in the very deep and then out, but it looks like someone has been burying front in recently. You want to investigate these fresher bodies more. There are a lot of ways you could go about it, but they do look like they've been essentially mummified, like they've been wrapped up.
I get Charles' attention. I say, these corpses are far too fresh, and they also seem to be
screaming,
and they're just angry or having really lots of fun. They seem to be watching Bluey downstairs. Anyway, they're misarranged. There was no official clergy that saw to these bodies.
As Shao casts Fox's cunning on themselves. Yes, that is odd. Ashun, you are the expert in burial procedure.
I think Oshun will be have been touching the dwarven implements, with her interest in burial and stuff like that, and ceremony, and also probably testing out if she can hear the voice or not, and so just sort of brings her attention to you and is yes.
These bodies, this seems strange. These seem not to conform to standard burial procedure for the dwarves. Are you able to identify anything about these bodies? Ways of death? Were they unnatural causes?
Ways of death? Who? So, not if they're buried by family or age, but the manner of their death?
My suspicion, and this is purely hypothesis, someone has potentially co-opted a mausoleum and has been keeping bodies here that they use for the purpose of creating vargals or worse.
That is incredibly astute. Which one would you like me to look at?
Ollie, are graveyards separated by caste? do each cast have their own burial sites, or are they all put together?
This graveyard isn't. This graveyard and crypt isn't. Many
Is
would
that
be.
on? Many would be, okay.
Many would be. It's not strictly unusual, but it's one of the things of it being a lower respected graveyard, right? Because when you get to the higher tiers, it's like, okay, you are such a great lawkeeper, and you only deal with law, and you are in this graveyard where the families are only lawkeepers. So this one is a mixture. It would seem, as is the kind of streets and the areas around it. It's a mixture of people, but there's always a mixture. But you know what I mean.
Damn. Okay. What do y'all got?
Ashal would, if you've got something to do with the corpses, go ahead, because Ashal is going to pursue other avenues rather than the corpses.
I can begin with either insight or medicine might be useful.
Insight won't tell you anything because it is. Well, insight would actually. You could do insight to try and learn more about the person who buried and embalmed them, actually. But medicine will give you more about the body and what state it's in.
Sure. The seagulls are still out there. We don't usually get seagulls around here. Alright.
So that's really good. You can carefully examine this body. Would this involve cutting into the wrappings and looking at the body within?
Oh, the wrapping.
Because it's semi-mummified.
I think she would definitely manipulate the body first and compare it to its neighbors.
Well, all of the bodies nearby are the same, but if you actually go deeper into the catacombs, where the regular burial procedure is being followed, it's very different. The bodies back there are stiff, but have also faded down to basically bone and sinew. These bodies are far, far, far more recent, and the embalming has been done in such a way that it would pass a quick glance, but basically they haven't been embalmed, they've just been wrapped up. And it's either shoddy work or work of someone who is deliberately not following the procedure, right? Would you wanna take a look inside?
First, she would call Bogdan over and just say, is this terribly normal for regular families to not embalm their dead?
If they were being put in the ground, there's no embalmment, but if they're going here, there should be. Everything about this is off. I wish I could determine this time between the corpses to see how long the next delivery will be made. We may need to camp here and find the perpetrator. Since we have dispatched the guards outside, we will need to strike quickly.
It is entirely possible that if I perform an autopsy, we may find parasitic larvae. Whether or not we want to crack it open.
You mean of the Varghouls?
It's entirely possible that it might be entirely within the...
Bogdan's gonna just brandish a utility knife and then just kind of stab into the one she's already opened, just stab into his head.
The one is not open. But you can do that.
Yet,
you can
okay.
stab into the head and you hit skull.
Okay, and he just kind of wiggles it around for a bit and then pulls it out.
Scalpel from you and just insert it up the body's nose, just
to see if there's still brain in there. Yeah, there is, which would be one of the first things you remove when embalming a body. Yeah.
Yeah, to sever any motor function. Just gonna take what Bogdan is trying to do and just be like, nose is usually better, mate.
Oh, he was just trying to see if it was gonna pop.
Oh,
yeah, it did not pop, and there is a brain in there.
Okay, I'm just gonna section it.
So the brain, is it, Sean, you know, is the brain required for a Varghoul transformation?
My understanding is that the brain dissolves, much like the body is becomes something entirely alien to what it originally was.
Is it safe to assume that this is all Vargul's stock?
It's difficult to say. It is entirely possible. It could also be someone disposing of bodies that needed to be disposed of somewhere. But my
More of a
guess would be
murder.
Vargul stock. Yes. The difficulty is that I have not seen enough specimens to determine at what stage the insides of a Vargul become a Vargul, as opposed to recognizably being of this plane.
Vargul
Right.
or egg? Which came first?
Are there any empty slots?
Yeah. So it's a little haphazard, but it doesn't follow the usual back to front. It looks like someone has been filling in bodies kind of front to back, but not in a very particular order.
I wanna give
And it
the
also
empty
looks like
slot-
sometimes the bodies have been moved a little further back as well.
Okay, I want to give one of the empty slots a thorough examination.
Sure. Give me an investigation check. Ocean, when you open up the wrappings, the one you're investigating is a fairly young warrior caste dwarven male that seems like it probably died maybe 2 months ago. So there's because of the embalming, the degree of embalming that happened and the place, the body is still in fairly good condition. But if you want to do a medicine check for like cause of death and stuff like that, that is totally an option.
I think Oshun's other spider legs would like come out, and she would like less aggressively she-lob it and just sort of like roll it around looking for marks, like any other cause of death or like
Sure.
any bug bites, puncture wounds, stab wounds.
Harrenhal
scars.
has a face when you do that, and kind of mutters has a hand on a amulet.
What? You threw him to the floor.
Yeah, give me a medicine check. Bogdan, it looks like the used
Incredibly
cubbies
consistent.
in the graveyard, in the catacombs, have been used to store bodies. Like, they've just been put there, and then they've been shuffled in other places. So there is some black bile that oozes from corpses after death and stuff like that. And like old dried blood, but not too much.
Bodies have definitely come and gone from this place. Not typical of a crypt. I think we can all agree.
Ocean, looking over the corpse, what is clear before cause of death is that this was a very hard-working individual who did not have the time to take care of themselves in whatever duty they were doing, which actually required quite a lot of hard labor of some degree. Looks like they walked a lot, looks like they carried things a lot, and they weren't eating or drinking properly in the process. When it comes to looking at cause of death, there actually doesn't seem to be anything really obvious other than on the outside. The only thing that's weird is that compared to the rest of the degradation, the lips are extremely withered and blackened.
While they're examining this various stuff, Ashal would be basically sniffing around for magic, like
Yeah.
particularly, and also like seeing if there's even any like resonance with the arm, like because of the hellfire of the arm.
Arcana check.
Singing Hellfire.
And I have advantage because of that enhanced ability.
Every
Yeah.
time you like look like you might step over propriety and sniff at a corpse, so Shun will go,
Yeah, it's fate. This is not the place where the fiends around here have been dwelling often. But either the cause of death is fiendish, or fiends have been used as laborers. But it's a very faint presence. the arm definitely does resonate with this burning, stabbing pain every now and again. And when it comes to the actual corpse you're investigating, it seems that you're not getting like an overflow of like fiendish energy from within them, like they were killed by powerful fiendish magic. Although what killed them may have been a fiend, the death process wasn't like a blast of hellfire or anything like that. The actual cause of death was something a little more subtle. Which is totally within like a devil's wheelhouse, to be fair, if it was trying to be subtle.
At least I can say with confidence that fiends are not slipping into this plane in this particular crypt. The residue of hellish energy here is more subtle. Perhaps fiendish workers, those imps outside, may have doubled as workers here. These corpses, they may have been killed by fiends. That is not outside of the realms of possibility, but it was not culling by great fiendish powers. It might have been a knife between the ribs by a fiend, metaphorically speaking.
This dwarf appears to be affected only around the mouth. I feel like that nods towards poisoning, but of course I will have to have a look to determine. Harrenhal, would you mind passing me that scalpel?
And while they do that, Bogdan is going to give Ashal like the signal for telepathy.
Extend telepathy to Bogdan.
Surprise party now!
So Bogdan will say in the telepathy,
Only to Ashal.
yes, only to Ashal. Lips, subterfuge, fiend. Are you thinking perhaps this bare chest is some lust demon?
Certainly not outside the realm of possibility. I would hate to make judgments based on name, but...
Stop making jokes.
I put that directly there for all of you. I put
Ashal,
that
we
chest
are, in
out
fact.
there for you.
Ashal, you and I are very funny. Assume ignore her.
just in this closed space.
Yeah, it's this private DM of the jokes that aren't in the
We
group
are
chat.
so funny.
Yeah, Harrenhal will hand it to you,
Crack me up.
and
Crack
Harrenhal
me up.
will actually cast a very like a bit of a spell. They make a bit of a sign in the air, like, I detect no poison on the body, but if they have been dead for some time, whatever poison may have. I suppose it cannot pass from a corpse, but.
Are you quite all right, Harrenhal? Are you afraid of death? I do not want to assume. You just seem a bit uncomfortable.
And I just to correct you on one point, I hate to
Interrupt.
assume, but I believe that in most cases, after the death of someone, their bodily functions do tend to
Yes,
force
I
everything out, as
understand.
it were.
I am uncomfortable because we are within a holy place to some degree that has been defiled with two outsiders. Even if you have been accepted by the Voice Ocean, your practices within here are quite improper, and I will have to explain them to some detail to the Church of Myr when their attendants do arrive, when I summon them.
When you summon the attendants, remind them that my companions here were not the first to defile this place.
Of course. You will
Also-
you are not creating any crime with my presence here, but
I
it
do
does make
understand
me
that
uncomfortable.
A second breach may only compound the feeling of unsanctity. I do apologize.
Shun, fear not. Regardless of our intervention, all these corpses need to be properly taken
Take
care
it again,
of.
my king.
King's
They
got two.
need to be properly taken care of. And on that end, this is a large number of corpses that have been improperly buried. Harrenhal, I know your duties are typically at the temple, but have you heard anything about a scale of missing peoples on this level?
She looks over the corpses. Well, I will assume, based on the lack of tattoos and such, that these were people that would not have been noticed so much going missing. Perhaps seems to be a warrior dwarf who was looking for work and found that work and died because of it.
Oshun is going to sing a little, like, a good rest song.
This reinforces the theory that, of the two theories I had running. One, that these people are here, or these corpses are here, to be turned into something else, or they were here to be disposed of after getting in someone's way. It seems that the former is more likely, if these are not individuals that would be missed.
A calculated Vogel factory.
One is never short of the dead.
Either a Vargul factory or they could be used as fuel for something else.
Aaron Hall, forgive me, but we must unveil another corpse. And without even asking permission, after that point, he like pulls one over and just cuts open the area above the mouth and wants to check the lips to see if
the same
Oshun,
withering.
I think if Oshun saw you, like, dragging a body towards yourself, a spider leg would shoot out and just place itself upon your hand.
But probably not fast enough to stop the tearing.
Yeah,
and you do see the sign.
And as it's going on, Bogdan will just look over at Oshun, just make eye contact, just like.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you weren't looking for it, you would probably just be like, it's just corpse withering. But it is notably, essentially more withered and aged around the mouth, but not to the point of being like bone, you know?
What are the odds that two corpses, misplaced and forgotten, guarded by fiends, seem to have the same injuries?
Yes, it seems rather a coincidence. Like when the second corpse was revealed, there would have been like the Evimari equivalent of a grim nod from Ashal's tentacles, just like a.
Such a wise pulsing.
Yes.
Harrenhal, I appreciate that we may be short on time and details. Would you guide me through some of your procedures regarding care for the dead?
No. It is not
All
of
right.
my church. I do not learn of such things.
Oshun is going to, like, without great, like, drama, just deftly crack the rib like a walnut so that you can, like, open it. Just like,
Yeah.
even, like,
Because you're big,
intuitive.
just like, yeah. I get you.
Done. It's something that has to be done, and then just gently Y-section it, and very cautiously. Like, I think she'd even like call you guys a little bit closer in case a sort of fucking alien goes.
Is this the first corpse or the second corpse?
It's the one that she's been like.
Yeah, the first one.
Just
So,
rotate.
Harrenhal will say, and kind of like put a hand on your arm while you're doing this, be like, do not
She will
worry,
do
the Church of Mer will put everyone to their proper rest, despite what trauma they may have suffered in this time.
I appreciate it.
Those who are not given a proper and true burial might be, if this is caused by fiends, their souls might be racked by fiend within the hells already.
Which sect of the church covers like justice?
Hers. So that would be the Church of the Voice.
Okay. Bogdan will say, we are doing the work of the voice if we bring justice to these deceased. And if we must stoop to what we have done, and perhaps more. We must hope that it will be washed clean by the end result.
She nods. You know, that's the right thing to say to the paladin in the room. The organs within at first glance seem pretty normal, given in mind that this is like a 2-month-old semi-embalmed corpse.
As Charles leans in for a more closer inspection based on their experience cutting open Vargals.
Yeah, you could give me an
Ocean
Arcana
will,
check
like,
there.
Allow
Still
you to look
advantage.
inside. Yeah, you can work on this with
Give
me.
the organs a sniff.
God.
There is no sign of Vargulification, but it seems, not even magic, just like, okay, there's no magic going on, let's look at this a little bit more now, that the heart was very strained in the moment of death, to the point of someone, undergoing kind of a
He
flip-flop.
died having sex.
Well, yes, a flip-flop of euphoria and fear, yes.
Yep.
Which kind of does...
That's how I want to go.
Yeah.
Not good for your partner, though. I
Whatever
feel incredibly bad.
caused that killed them via the lips. Which does kind of fit with your theory of some kind of lust-aligned demon.
Oshun will give her side of the, like, this is what happened. And, like, sew him up, lay him back down on the slab, like, probably, like, brush his hair back from his head. She might even have, like, a little tear. She just gets sad.
While Oshun is doing that, Ashal would basically relay to Bogdan via telepathy further confirmation of their or at least suspicion of their further evidence of their theory. If it's not bare chest specifically, it is at least a demon of lust.
Bogdan and Ashal wink at each other. Da 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 da. Oshun will just deftly wipe the tear away, suck the legs back against her back, and like flip her hair back over her back and be all ready to mosey on to the next step.
Should we confirm the same for the other corpse?
Well, you confirmed the lips, which is
Right.
so pretty connected, honestly.
And the heart.
Yeah. You don't know the other one has a strained heart, but if it's through the lips, was what caused the heart.
Would you like me
safe
to
guess?
investigate this matching corpse?
I do not personally think it's necessary.
It is not a valid case unless there is another to substantiate the first.
If you wish, I will not object. I
shall let you handle the corpse, Oshun.
Harrenhal, are you alright with...
If your theory is that whatever is marking their lips is the cause of death, we already know that at least 2 of the corpses here were killed that way. That is proof enough for me.
Alright.
Then that's what we shall operate under. Someone is killing these... Are they all male?
No.
Killing these people in the throes of passion through some dark magic, and then stowing their bodies here, which we believe is being used as a stock for Varkul.
Or at least a stock for some kind of
Fell,
planar
fiendish bullshit. Yeah, got it. Is there anything else we can learn here, Ashal, or shall we let the paladin do her job?
There is little in the way of trace magic beyond staking the place out and catching someone in the act. I do not think there is more we can learn.
Well, we could identify where it was these people perished, if it's at a particular tavern, brothel, area, a park.
We could attempt to trace a route, but I'm not sure how these corpses are brought in. But as it is a graveyard, I would imagine that they have co-opted the normal procedures for bringing corpses to the graveyard.
Well,
They've corrupted them.
If you can understand, it would be preferable to catch them before the next murder.
Oh, of course. I suspect if we wish to capture... I suspect that the next best port of call might be to investigate. I assume that the church responsible for this has people who would bring the corpses here.
Harrenhal nods.
If we find those specifically associated with this graveyard, they might...
The sexton? The person who tends the graveyard?
I was not aware that that was a word, but...
How about something you use when you're navigating the seas on the surface world?
At any rate, I imagine that we would find that whoever is bringing the corpses here is either not what they seem or very well paid off.
I was going to say they could be agents for the greater fiend.
If this is the most recent body based on just its placement, and it was killed 2 months ago, do you think a stakeout is a wise and sensible use of your time?
We don't have the manpower for that prolonged watch.
An officer of the graveyard or a basketballer.
Catch it all. Could one of your selves,
friends,
could one of yourselves be apart from the group for a prolonged period of time and then return?
Yes, although the information they gather would be lacking.
Damn.
I don't think I have anything that could protect this place rather than people.
The gravekeepers will tend to such a thing. Whatever has been happening here will not be happening again, and if whoever is bringing the corpses cares so much as to fight the Church of Myr, then we will hear of it. Success or fail.
So we have learned much, but unfortunately as to the perpetrator's identity, we have to some extent we've cut off that avenue. We've burned the end of this trail.
Not true.
So I think it's
you have fiends captured, and they can be interrogated to the very end of their essence.
Precisely. Which means that is our next step. Harrenhal, thank you for your cooperation. As you can see, my cohorts and I are deeply invested in this situation, and we'd like to see it through. It would be nice to have someone of official standing giving us the go-ahead.
You have my permission to continue investigating this matter, yes.
All right, Bogdan will just bro-fist a Charles.
Mentally.
Yeah, mental bro-fist.
So it sends a sticker in the chat. And Harrenhal will motion for you all to start leaving and close up the place when you go.
Yep.
Once we're away and set, I presume Harrenhal would either.
She's going to be sending a message off and waiting here. Yes.
Yeah. As they're away, like a bit of a distance, as Charles would say, it is not directly relevant, but if that last corpse was being worked hard and
you could say, I'm sorry,
and was there from 2 months or so ago, further hypothesis would be that they may have been responsible for moving the corpses. And they might have been a loose end, finished off as a last.
I understand where you're coming from, but I think we should focus on the facts we have instead of.
Exactly, it was an idle thought. At the very least, I think we have a very strong case that this is a fiendish entity involved with lust somehow.
Also, if we suspect this trail ends where it ends, I don't think I'm ready to make a move of that level until we have more support. But I'm hoping that we can put a stop to it, albeit perhaps temporarily, if the source is who we believe it is, and that will buy us time to assemble more support.
So, you propose moving on to the Stillers?
No, we should see where this goes. We've come too far to switch gears now, as we dwarves say.
So it is to be the imp then, before anything else.
The imp, shall we, to the manor? Catch it all.
Yes.
Is it safe to say you have eyes on the back of your head?
The cloak I am carrying is material. It is quite difficult to see through.
I understand. We need to be more conscientious of being followed from here on out.
That I can take care of.
I can strap my baby to my back.
There's kind of a
your
shuffling.
baby greatly.
What is it?
Talkative.
What do your L5 see?
You probably do carry the baby on your back sometimes, because you could just like make a little cradle with your legs back
That
there.
whole thing, like,
Yeah.
just shoot.
Yeet.
Hanging the baby upside down like a bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it would be upside down if you just went like that.
Yeah, Catcher Owl will kind of like shuffle around in the robe, and the illusion doesn't shift, but you can kind of tell that it's like basically making itself more aware of watching going around. You can get back to the estate. How do you want to start investigations with this imp? Or do you even want to, you do have the other one as well. But it's clearly a lower grade of theme.
We take the soul jar and we dump it underwater and we hold it there. And then we bring it up. And, tell me what you know!
The soul gems are very warm. This is not the case of the other soul gem. I think the only other soul you've captured is a shard of Lithura. So it's not the best comparison, but these are noticeably painfully warm. They're fully contained, there's no leakage, but they are warm.
Ashal would begin by tapping the gem just to see if the essence within shifts, reacts.
To a degree.
To a degree. Well, let's go mad. Let's just see if I can extend telepathy towards it, around it.
This is an intelligence check.
Woohoo! I presume it's more than an hour to go back to the manor.
Probably not. I will allow it.
Okay, cool.
This was pretty nearby.
I would like to know if there's a common area where these people are meeting their ends, if possible.
You do feel a connection. It takes working. As Charles has had to practice reaching out with telepathy, and with this you are reaching into whatever metaphysical space is within the soul gem. What makes it a soul gem rather than just a crystal, something that happens while you are doing essence trap. To a degree, there is a space in there which this essence is residing, although it was also fully taking up the space. That's why bigger ones shatter and crack. And you can reach a kind of connection because you speak and understand Fiendish. you can communicate more, and you feel the pain welling in your arm even more. In fact, I will do a little roll. You are going to take 6 fire damage as this is happening, but you feel, with your knowledge of Arcana, that this is the key.
I was going to say, Ashal would have probably specifically been holding the soul gem in
that arm? Okay, awesome.
And sort of like trying to physically channel the telepathy via the arm into the gem almost.
You mad scientist.
Sigils of deep speech start to appear around your arm from where you're holding the soul gem containing this imp. And you do feel a connection. You feel it would be a presence of asking questions, very similar to a speak with dead, until the energy is too painful. It'll be 2d4 each question. Fire damage. So you've already paid once, essentially, to make this connection.
Okay.
Sorry, just remembered that spider.
No, you don't have to do it now. You could be like, okay, I've made this connection. Long rest. We can kind of deal with it next time.
Yeah, I think that's probably better. Ashal didn't heal after that battle anyway, so if it's taking that, if this involves like that level of physical pain, Ashal would know that like their body is not going to stand up to much, so they'll leave it for another point.
Can I heal you a little bit?
And like, so what you would say, Ashal would be like, yeah, place the gem down, like
it's smoking.
Ashal.
Well,
not to be. What do you think you're doing?
it is the key.
His
You can
job.
have the key and not hurt yourself terribly.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun! They died.
That was new.
The soul.
They died.
No, I've been noticing Ian's camera has been fucking up all stream. It might need to be like jiggled.
Yeah, I wanted to mention.
Oh, you're
it,
still
but then
there. You're still connected.
We can
I was
hear
gonna
them.
mention.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But we've
what
all
on
swapped
earth is
places,
this trying
haven't
to
we?
do?
No. Not
On my
yet.
screen, we have. Okay.
We're fine. But you know what?
We're fine.
That might be an omen
Oh, I didn't
to
realize that,
deal with this next time. This is the
sign.
the cliffhanger. So why don't we do a quick
Will
little
they have a
wrap-up?
camera next week?
Oh, I hope it. I hope
think,
the
like,
camera
I
is
think, like,
fixable,
all
but
of
it might
my-
just be. It's probably going to be hard to fix because it's still working. So maybe have a restart your computer and fiddle with it tomorrow. I would say.
What the heck happened?
I think all the drivers or something reset because it redetected my external hard drive as well.
Weird.
So something
That's
went
intense.
We will
we
worry
have to
about this
restart
now.
your
We'll do a
computer?
quick little shout out to peoples and what we've got going on, starting with Jacob.
All right.
Yay.
Well, Ollie, once again, thanks for having me on this campaign. I don't feel like a guest anymore.
You're
but-
not. You're a cast member.
But I'm glad to be here because this is fun as heck. Also, if you want to catch more of me, I GM a game every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central North American. And right now we're in between campaigns. We'll be doing another one-shot this weekend, which is the 15th. If you guys want to jump on over to twitch.tv/JakeandZol, then you can watch Dire Roll. We'll be doing a one-shot. This week's one-shot is a cyberpunk system called Wired Neon Cities, I think.
Yeah.
And Vegas will be running that. And then we'll have a Stars Without Number one-shot the following week. And then
Watch diarrhea vomiting on one shot.
I want to
is
point
that
out
what the
that when you said
caption did?
twitch.tv/Jaken, it came up as twitch.tv/Jenkins.
twitch.tv/Jenkins. I don't know who
That
Jenkins
is unpleasant for the. I mean, I understand it not making sense of dire roll, but still, that is probably the worst thing it could have possibly corrected to.
All right. Yeah, that's me. So someone else take this away.
Ian and Zoe, do you
my
want to real quick do
gosh.
your thing from the void? Ashal got sucked into the soul gem, and this is all that's left.
Subscribe to Ollie's Patreon, Monday game, lots of fun. Also now currently a probably bi-weekly Another game,
Secret.
Secrets. That is lots of fun.
Semi-secret game that
catch a owl.
is very silly, very fun.
I can't wait to listen
It's
to it.
actually been uploaded.
And I was in the same room. That's what I'm
Uh,
listening to as I try to fall asleep.
That would probably be quite a nice one to fall asleep to, actually. It's it's a very
Oh, yeah?
chill campaign. And Zoe, of course, is the lead writer for Schism, which is coming soon.
Yeah.
TM.
So excited, and we're working on things, and we can't wait to show everybody, and we're so excited about all these new things coming, and podcasts,
Yeah.
maybe.
There's a, you know, as we get later into the year, there's a whole bunch of stuff that could happen when you know the Kickstarter is going live, and you know, we're always working on stuff. Sometimes I talk a little bit about that during my chill streams. If you want to hang out pretty much every day where I'm not doing something else, there is a chance for a chill stream. They're either art streams where we talk about lore a lot, or relaxing games, or other stuff. You should definitely hang out, subscribe, follow on Twitch if you haven't already. You should subscribe as well. Hey! Also, this show goes on to YouTube. Support on Patreon if you can. That makes a massive change. And yes, there's a lot of experimental things sort of going as my chronic illness is being taken care of. So moving forward into autumn, we might have some new stuff going on in many different ways that I talk about a little bit more during other projects. But this show should be good next week. And we'll see you then for the continued Ashal fucks with magic he shouldn't with show.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you for saying my hair was nice. It was very nice.
All right. See you next time.
Oh.
Bye.